Joining me today is District Attorney Deb Ryan and Chief County Detective David Sassa from the Chester County DA's office. As you know, on the morning of Thursday, August 31st, inmate Danelo Cavalcante escaped from the Chester County Prison. Since the day of the escape, there have been several credible sightings within an area I described to you yesterday within Pocopson Township. We had one additional sighting of Cavalcante last evening within that perimeter and conducted a multiple hours-long search of the area, but were unable to locate him. Early this morning, we were notified by security at Longwood Gardens that they had trail camera photos taken on their property which appear to be Cavalcante. This area is just south of the perimeter. Investigators quickly examined those photos, and we can confirm it is Cavalcante. The photos confirm that Cavalcante has not changed his appearance, but also that he has obtained a backpack, a duffel sling-type pack, and a hooded sweatshirt. Cavalcante is depicted in the photo walking north at 8:21 p.m. and then back south through the same location at 9:33 p.m. Working with the District Attorney's Office, several steps were quickly taken, including shifting our perimeter in an attempt to contain him between the southern end of the established perimeter and an area south of Route 1. The District Attorney and I had a lengthy conversation yesterday afternoon with the superintendents of a number of area school districts. We had assured them that if anything changed, we would promptly notify them. As promised, that notification occurred at approximately 5 a.m., resulting in a decision by the Unionville, Chaddsford, and Kennett Consolidated School Districts to cancel classes for the day. We will continue to work with those districts to determine what will occur in coming days. A reverse 911 call was sent out to the residents within a 1.5-mile area of the camera that was located, and that occurred at 5:27 a.m. This was expanded to 3 miles at around 7 a.m. We had already requested and begun to mobilize resources from additional federal agencies last evening to include the FBI and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. People and equipment from those agencies is being mobilized and added to the search as we speak. We continue to ask for the public's help by familiarizing themselves with the photograph and the description of Cavalcante. We're also asking people in an expanded area from the Pocopson Township area south to be alert and to call us with anything suspicious. We ask them to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles. Cavalcante has clearly already obtained some clothing and unknown other supplies, and we want to minimize any opportunity to obtain anything more. It is important we keep pressure on him as we continue this hunt. We're also asking residents and businesses anywhere in or near this area to check their home and business security cameras and call us with anything suspicious that they might observe. A tip line has been established, and we can be reached at 717-562-2987. That was 717-562-2987. We remind everyone that a reward totaling up to $10,000 has been offered for information leading to the capture of Danelo Cavalcante. What I would also ask is that people consider signing up for the alerts here in Chester County, and it's they can sign up at readychesco.org, readychesco.org. And with that, we will be happy to take any questions that you might have at this time.
So do you ever do
and I'm sorry, just 1 second. If we could display the photos here. I can start with the question while he's getting those photos up.
Do you believe that he's now actually out of that 2-mile radius that you were initially looking at yesterday?
Yes, we believe he's just south of that radius, and that's why, again, we've shifted that perimeter now to include that area. What I can tell you is I think that, what's occurred is that pressure that we've been putting on him is working. We squeezed him hard enough over a period of a few days, and he was not able to get any relief and managed to find a place to get out. Obviously, I wish we would have been able to capture him without him getting through that perimeter, but it is also not shocking. It's dark, it's a large area, and not to make excuses. I mean, it's just difficult terrain and things.
Is this area more remote, or is it more open?
No, actually, I think this is a little more open. I'm encouraged by the fact that he's there. The other thing I'm encouraged by is that we realized within just a few hours where he was, and so he's not had a tremendous amount of time to move a long distance. And so again, it gives us another opportunity to now try and squeeze him within that perimeter.
Do you think he walked across Baltimore Pike? How do you think, I mean, are you looking into the possibility that he crossed that busy?
Oh, we're certainly looking into that possibility. Again, where he was spotted, he was not across Baltimore Pike there. But obviously, we consider anything, and the perimeter has expanded south of Route 1 as well.
Is this trail camera monitored either by law enforcement or by Longwood 24/7?
No, it was a private camera, and an individual checked it and notified us promptly.
It's not a Longwood Gardens camera?
It's my understanding that they allow some others to put cameras on their property, and that individual provided the information.
Any idea how he got the supplies? Were these a result of burglaries?
I can't confirm at this point where he got those supplies. Again, obviously, picked them up somewhere along the way, so obviously he got into a structure, a car, something, and obtained some clothing. In fact, we have the pictures up here now. You can see from this picture, he's got a sling-type duffel bag. You can also see shoulder straps in another photo here that you'll see in just a minute. He's got a backpack on his back as well. So he's got two packs. He also, in another picture you'll see, he's obtained a hooded sweatshirt. If we can. And so what I would tell you is that I mentioned that there were two different times. So what we believe happened is he walked into that area, was likely not well oriented, headed north, probably ran into the perimeter, realized he couldn't go that way, and turned the opposite direction and came back through the camera a second time. So this is when, with the pack on and the hoodie, he's headed north actually here, and then about roughly an hour later is coming back south without the hoodie on.
That photo is from when? 9:30?
So it's, let me get the time here. It was, the time is an hour off. That's depicted on the camera. I'm sorry, give me just a minute to find my times here.
It's 9:30 and 10:30.
I'll get that for you here in just a minute. But it was about an hour apart. It was roughly 8:20 and 9:30.
We've heard 10:30 for the shirt off.
I understand that. Again, the time stamp on the photo should be the time stamp is an hour off. It's actually 9:30, and the other one's 8:30. And the other one was 8:30 or thereabouts. 9:33 is the one. 8:21 was the first one. So he's headed north at 8:21. It says 9:21, and then he's headed south at 9:33.
Are you widening the perimeter or moving it south? How would you describe it?
We're expanding the perimeter, but we're also eliminating the northern end of that perimeter. So the community that was surrounded by that won't be surrounded by it now. So if you went to the southern end of what we had established previously as a perimeter and go south from there, down and across Baltimore Pike, that would be the current area.
Is it making a mistake then, or is this just another successful attempt of him evading authorities at this point?
Oh, I think he's absolutely succumbing to the pressure, and yes, he's trying to escape, and that's what he managed to do. He found a point that he could squeeze through that perimeter, and he traveled south. We'll now expand that perimeter and move it so that we can try and encapsulate him again, and we're already actively searching those areas.
It's been 6 days. I mean, do we know anything more about his background? Does he have any survival skills? I mean, he's been foraging, clearly he's been stealing stuff. What can you tell the public? I mean, this guy's clearly cunning, and he's been able to evade you guys for 6 days now.
We're not aware of any formal training in terms of survival skills. You're dealing with someone who's desperate and who doesn't want to be caught. And so if he can find something, some clothing, if he can find some shelter, if he can find some food, he is going to take advantage of whatever he finds. And that's why, again, we pressure him to not allow him the luxury of rest. And then we're asking the public to help us by making sure things are secure so that we can minimize his opportunities to obtain those things that he doesn't otherwise have. He doesn't have, to our knowledge, he doesn't have caches out there or any supplies that he can go to and obtain, as we've seen in some other searches we've done. That's not the case here. I believe this was just an opportunity that he took to get out of the jail, and once out, he's now winging it, and so he does what he has to do to try and avoid escape, or try and avoid capture. Rather.
From his mother to convince him to turn himself back in?
We have not since yesterday, and we'll have to evaluate whether we think that will be effective going forward.
Longwood Gardens is closed today. Are you going to be searching Longwood Gardens?
Longwood Gardens is closed, and we will be in that area, not only Longwood Gardens, but the entire area. We will be pushing through.
He could walk to Delaware today if he was able to walk that far. Are you coordinating with officials in Delaware?
We are.
State Police? And what does that change anything if he crosses the state line into Delaware?
It really doesn't. There's a federal warrant that the marshals have obtained for him. That's again, it's federal warrant, so it covers us regardless of where he goes.
You would still be
At this point, I don't believe he has made it to Delaware. I believe he's still well into Pennsylvania, and we're going to act on that and continue to pressure him. But at the same time, we always look at options. Even while we were looking at that perimeter, as I said to you yesterday, we follow up on any tip. We don't discount anything, and certainly that's why, you know, in this case, it was a really solid tip. But we've had lots of others. We follow up on those as well, and on the chance that he has managed to get out of that area. And certainly, you know, even prior to this, we had already been coordinating with Delaware.